Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 10 episode 8 and we're back earlier than planned today for a massive Premier League game against Manchester City. It may well be 4th v 1st, but look at the league table. The top 4 sides are separated by just a single point and our goal difference could be the key as we look to wrap up our first ever title and a Premier League win with Newcastle. Manchester City are still in control of the title race. If they beat us today, they're top with a game in hand and will certainly be favourites to win it at the end of the year. But if we win this game, it's all down to us and we would need to slip up to give the title to someone else. Don't forget, on the final day of the season, we've got second place Manchester United as well. So this is going to be one hell of a run-in. The 3 games in between are Fulham, who are 5th, Wolves, who are 14th, and Sunderland, our major rivals, who are scrapping for their lives in 18th place. So it's going to be a brilliant end to the season and hopefully we'll be able to get over the line as we still fight on in 3 competitions. We've got an FA Cup final coming up, a Europa League semi-final as well, so if we lose today we'll start to prioritise the other competitions, but this could be our real chance at a Premier League title. If we win the title this year, there's no chance we're not getting a big offer in the summer. As some of Europe's top jobs become available, we can really start to build our CV. But let's go and have a look at the results since you were last with me. Of course there's not been many of them. You were with me for that brilliant 5-2 win against Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final. We won it in extra time after a really good performance, despite starting absolutely horrendously. We then won the first leg of the Europa League quarter 4-1. It was a brilliant second half performance after a tragic first half display. We were 1-0 down at half time and getting outplayed. Bernard Martin came on at half time and missed the penalty almost immediately, but Brian Barrett was the hat-trick hero and Billy Gilmour got a goal as well to put us well in control for the second leg. That meant we could play a slightly stronger team against Middlesbrough. It was still a difficult game as we had a largely reserve side out. Although we wanted to play everyone, most of them were knackered, but a 3-0 win with a Mason Greenwood brace and Ranzan scoring in stoppage time to wrap it up. Then we went away to Montpellier for the return leg in the Europa League. We played nearly our first team again as we really wanted to make sure we got the job done. Ranzan and Bernard scored the goals on the night and we got through 6-1 on aggregate to face Espanyol in the semi-final. They're all the way down in 9th place in La Liga, now down to 10th a week later. They've got Alfie Mawson, a 34-year-old English centre-half, who obviously in real life is playing in the Premier League. And if you look at our scheduling towards the end of the year, from that semi-final first leg against Espanyol, we've got 4 games in 7 days, and just look at the run in there. We've got Espanyol in the first leg, Wolves are our opponents just 3 days later, then 2 days after that we play Sunderland, 2 days after that Espanyol, and 3 days after that a potential title decider. So we really need to be out of one of these competitions. If we win this game today, I'll probably rest players for the Europa League. Hopefully our backup side could compete against Espanyol anyway, so we'll just see how it goes, but I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with Wolves and Sunderland, playing 2 games with just a day's break. There's not going to be much training for these lads till the end of the year, but hopefully their experience will get them over the line. There's another big game in the Premier League alongside our one today. These 2 games will probably shape the title race. Manchester United head to Liverpool and we head to Manchester City. Which one of the 3 sides is going to come out on top? We're pretty much ruling out Spurs as they've played 2 games more than the rest, although they have got the next best goal difference after us. Manchester City have a brilliant record against us. We finally broke our duck against them in the Carabao Cup earlier this year before going out to Liverpool. So let's get into it and see the lineup as both teams come into this one in brilliant form. We've got our normal 11 out. You could probably name it from start to finish pre-episode. It's David Raya in goal, Gomez and Lewis the fullbacks with Yanderson and Konza in the middle. I don't know why I've said them the opposite way round this time. Maybe it's just the pre-match jitters. We've got Douglas Luiz in his Segundo Volante role, Billy Gilmour's the deep lying playmaker, then Arzani, Ranzan and Barrett, the 3-man creative force as usual, in behind Florence and Bernard up front. We've got Oliveira, who struggled to get back to fitness from injury, so he's not quite going to make it today. He's going to be a big miss for this one. The same for Pedro, the January signing at right back, and then the likes of Hayek and Maflouthi miss out as we go for real experienced defensive options on the bench. The likes of Declan Rice has played hundreds of games at this level, so hopefully he'll be familiar with the pressures of it, and then the likes of Bazan, January signing Leonardo and Lavinas give us options, as well as Bernard Martin, the superstar striker. So let's get into the game. We continue with our positive mentality, although I'm tempted to drop it to balance for the first half, and we'll see if we can get an incredible result which have put us in charge of the title race. It's the 4-2-3-1 for City then, lots of experience in their side, the likes of Ederson, De Bruyne, Sane and Jesus, all still there after 10 years in real life. They've got Kimpembe the centre half and plenty of hot prospects, loads of quality regens who should be able to cause us trouble. But fingers crossed we can stand firm, we are going to drop to a balanced mentality as well as telling the lads to get out and prove a point. We'll trust our assistant manager for this one, we'll drop down to balance and fingers crossed after we get rid of this tunnel interview we'll be able to get into the important action. Mafloufi's just being rested. We're certainly not making it out like players are being dropped. Apparently City are missing an elite striker, which is why the experienced Jesus may be in the lineup today, as he hasn't started against us the last few times, but De Bruyne has got the ball from kick-off and Manchester City will look to press us early. Mercado the left back, the best left back in the world by the way, he's got the ball and he goes back to Kimpembe, but the highlight ends and it's still 0-0, a comfortable first 5 minutes. Is a throw on the left, Jamal Lewis in an attacking area. He finds Brian Barrett. Gilmour back to Louise. He goes for another thunderous effort. So often in these big games he scores special goals, but it was blocked on this occasion. It falls to Lewis on the left though. Tries to deliver, but it just falls for Sane in the box. No one really wanted to deal with it, but Sane weirdly just hacks it out for a throw, despite not having much pressure on him at all. A quarter of an hour gone, no shots on target. It's been a cagey start to the game, and as a result we haven't seen many highlights, nor have we seen any good chances. Half an hour gone, Billy Gilmour with a free kick, it's just over the bar. Manchester United took an early lead via Thompson at Liverpool, but Antunes has equalised for Liverpool, and now Manchester United look like dropping points, so if one of us can win this game today, we'll surely be favourites for the title. Jesus gets a free header 8 yards out, hits it against the crossbar, it may have even been the post in the end, but a really good effort wasted by Jesus, and thankfully with 5 minutes to the break, we maintain a goalless scoreline. It's Mohamedi at right back to Van Riel. We're going to have to think about going positive in the second half as we're just not creating anything at all. I know City haven't done much, but 0-0 doesn't really help us. They've got a game in hand and this may be their hardest running fixture, so they may just go for the point in this one, and then if they win all the others they know they're champions. They're 1 point behind with a game in hand, so we've really got to win this if we want to be in control. We've got the same record as Manchester United, but a slightly better goal difference, but again a win could change that and give us a little bit of a cushion. It's half time, it's 0-0, there's been just one shot on target in the match, and although we haven't been outplayed in possession, there is a point where we're going to have to start attacking. But for now we're just going to leave it as it is, tell the lads to prove a point again, and hopefully we can get through 5 or 10 more boring minutes before really going all out attack. It's Arzani on the right wing who's challenged by Jesus, and unfortunately the highlight ends with no further action as we don't get to create our first good chance. De Bruyne with a free kick for Man City, goes to Kimpembe at the back post, he drops it back for Sane, now De Bruyne, no pressure on him but a good block by Lewis, and he's out for a throw in as the substitution still caused the lag, but we won't care if we nick a winner somehow. It's Doumbia in the middle for Manchester City, he switched it out to the left for Leroy Sane, no pressure from Gomez into Appleyard, the sub nearly scored, Jesus on the rebound, brilliant save from David Raya, and we managed to hack it away, but with an hour gone and no shots on target, if we survive this chance we'll have to go all out. De Graaf with a header which is saved by Raya, and it looks like that should end the highlight. What's he done there? Oh no! Have you ever seen anything like it? David Raya goes to drop the ball, roll it out, I'm not quite sure what, and he just rolls it into Appleyard, and David Raya on the big occasion has somehow made an error, although according to his match rating he's got a 7.1 and Janderson's down at a 6. What on earth did Janderson do wrong there? David Raya just dropped the ball at the striker's foot and it's going to cost us the Premier League title. Bernard's in though, it's a brilliant save from Ederson, and as we've gone to a positive mentality we'll make our 3 substitutions. I mean we'll go and watch that back in a minute, but I have no idea how Janderson's being blamed for that. Ranzan's going to come off, Arzani will go into the number 10 role, and on the right wing we'll have Lavinas, who will play a bit more as a winger. Hopefully he'll be able to push Mercado back and get a little bit of pressure at that end of the pitch. Florentin Bernard's missed a chance, so Martin will come on for him, and Douglas Luiz will be replaced by Declan Rice as we really try and create some attacking momentum. Let's get get back into the game and see these 3 subs made, I've got to go back and see the goal, because I just cannot work out how Jandersen's at fault for this. Let's go back and have a look at it. It's headed into the keeper's hands. Jandersen's just peeled to the side to roll it out. David Raya just rolled it at the keeper. How on earth is that Jandersen's fault? David Raya's let us down, and somehow his rating's still in the 7s. I just cannot work that out, and it looks like it's cost us the title. I'm going to be infuriated by that for some time. Machilov's just overtaken Raya in terms of star rating, so it may be that he becomes first choice keeper now, as David Raya's let us down one too many times, particularly on the biggest stages. Remember the Europa League final last year? He cost us that one as well. He cost us both goals against Liverpool this year in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. That was in the first leg you didn't see in camera, as he came out for 2 crosses and just dropped them. So I think Machilov may be our big game keeper now, but it's not going to be enough for this season's Premier League. It's Lavinas on the right hand side to Gilmour. At this point, a point would be a good result. A lot of points in that sentence, but Jesus is in, and it doesn't look like we're going to get one. We're going to go attacking. We're going to demand more. There's just a few minutes of stoppage time. If we can create one chance, then maybe we'll be able to take it. If not, it looks like United's points going to keep them second. Manchester City are top with a game in hand, and unfortunately the title race is over, which at least makes our decision making process easier when we come up to the other 2 competitions shortly. The ball's been cleared out by Manchester City with an overhit pass, but the final whistle goes. We've lost 1-0 due to a David Raya own goal apparently. It didn't look like an own goal either. I have no idea what's gone on with that one. He's somehow got man of the match. That is absolutely disgraceful. We've lost the game, we've lost the title, and now we've just got 2 competitions left to fight for. Definitely our last season at Newcastle, as we've said. I'll resign in the summer if we don't get another offer, so fingers crossed we'll be able to do well and really attract the interests of some other big clubs. It's still really tight at the top, but we've pretty much blown our chance there, and with 4 games to come in quick succession, we've really got to prioritise other competitions. Let's see what the media have said about the game. We lose top spot. David Raya's left red-faced. It certainly was his mistake. I just don't understand what's gone on there, so we'll just stop worrying about it and accept our Premier League title push is over. Marcelo Gallardo's talking nonsense about mind games. We'll deal with the press conference off camera. Let's go and have a quick look at the job security screen just to see if there's any of the big ones going. We can apply for them and take over next year, but at the moment that doesn't look to be the case. So none of the monstrous jobs are going. In terms of the insecure ones, Roma doesn't seem to be up there anymore. Bayer Leverkusen's a job I'd love to get. Hopefully we'll be able to go to the Bundesliga next year. If we can compete at the top end and in Europe, I'd really be absolutely delighted. Zenit St. Petersburg I think was the biggest job open at the moment, so a little small for our reputation now, as the Russian league seems to have dropped a little bit, despite having some relatively good players. So let's go and look at the league table just to see how things stand with 4 games to go. 5 for City of course. I just want to go and see what their running is, so we can compare these sides and see who's got the best chance. So Manchester City are still in both competitions as well. We've obviously got them in the FA Cup final. They've drawn Chelsea in the semi-final of the Champions League. They've got Southampton an easier game in 3 days time, but then Arsenal and Chelsea in the Premier League as well, so it could be a tough spell for them, and they've got the similar problem to us with a game on Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. So that makes me feel a little bit better, but don't forget City have got to drop 5 points for us to be in the title race. We've got a better goal difference, but they're 2 points ahead with a game in hand, so it's going to make things a little bit tricky for us. And now we've got the additional problem, of course, of Manchester United being above us in the League 2. They're a point clear. Obviously we can address that on the final day of the season as we face them home at St James's Park. They've also got Tottenham this weekend, so we really need Spurs to get a result out of them. So we'll just see how things pan out in the next couple of games, but of course it's out of our hands now, and with a league game every 2 or 3 days, it's going to be really tricky for us to keep playing our first team. So we've got Espanyol to focus on in the Europa League. We'll worry about the FA Cup at the end, as we've got a week's break before that, so it shouldn't have any impact on the other games. But Espanyol is a game we've got to focus on. Should we have a look and see who else is in the semi-finals, just in case we get through to the final stage? As you can see from Espanyol, they've not got too many star players, so it should be a winnable game, and I'd expect us to be favourites for the tie. But if we go off to the Europa League now, to see who the other semi-final is, it's Lyon v Liverpool, so we could have another reunion with Liverpool for a 6th time this season, or we could be playing Lyon from Ligue 1. They're up in 4th at the moment. They've got a 36-year-old Christian Eriksen and a number of players with massive ratings, so they could be a really tricky opponent as well. We don't expect to get to a European final and have an easy game by any means, but after Bayern Munich last year, to get one of these two this season would be an absolutely massive tie and a really tough test again. So a dramatic run-in's in store. We'll have a couple more episodes to come at least. We'll have the second leg of the Espanyol game as we try to get to the Europa League final. We'll have the final league game of the season against Manchester United just to see if we're still in the title race. And then of course we'll have the FA Cup final against Manchester City, hopefully followed by the Europa League final, but we'll wait and see on that one. So there's going to be 3 more episodes to come this season for sure. There may be a 4th one if we can get through in the Europa League, and hopefully we should as favourites and get to face another major cup final. So if we go and look at the schedule, the next episode is in just 4 games time, but in that time we've got 3 Premier League games in a week, the first leg against Espanyol, and a massive game against our big major rivals, Sunderland, who are trying to stay in the Premier League. If we can relegate them and keep ourselves in a title race, going into that final game against United, it would certainly be a dream scenario for the fans, as we'd finally be able to play our first team. I'm hoping when we come back for the second leg of Espanyol, we'll have won the first leg at a canter and we'll be able to rest a few players for the second one just to make sure we can get our best team out for both Sunderland and United to try and give us the best possible chance in the league. But it could all be over by then. We may be out of the Premier League title race. If Manchester City beat Arsenal and Chelsea, there's certainly going to be no coming back. We'll quickly finish on the dynamic screen, one that I know I don't show you often enough, just to see what the dressing room atmosphere is like. Despite that defeat there, it is absolutely excellent, and we've got good support and team cohesion too, so it doesn't look like that defeat's cost us too much, particularly in terms of the players' faith, so hopefully they'll continue to perform well, and we'll get back to winning ways in the next one. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video, let me know down in the comments what on earth happened with that goal, if you've seen anything like it in FM19. Have you had a goal like that going in one of your saves, and has it happened at such a crucial stage? It may well have cost us the Premier League title, but in truth we weren't the favourites anyway. A draw wouldn't have helped us too much either. Give me your thoughts on how many competitions you'll think we'll win, if you think we'll win any at all. The Europa League's going to be a really tough final, based on the other 2 sides in the semi. Manchester City, we've got a horrific record against, as you've seen. And which goalkeeper do I pick for the 2 big games? I really don't know which one's best. Machalov's probably slightly better now, but he needs to leave for first team football. Although playing him in these big games will solve that problem, he's still unhappy at the moment, and that may mean the morale of the team goes down. It's all a bit too much to consider. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This Journeyman story, The Head Coach, where we're working under a director of football with no say in transfers or contracts, and my other One Club series, Part of the Furniture with Torquay United. Season 11 of that one started last week. We've had a couple of massive episodes, including a transfer special, as well as our 10-year review, looking at the first 10 seasons of the Save, and our success with Torquay, as well as the rest of the footballing world and the big European competitions. There's also weekly content on the channel from my Snooker 19 career. That's every Friday at 4:30. And then from the end of the month, we've got Cricket 19, the official game of the Ashes. I've really enjoyed the previous editions of that one, so I'm hoping this one will be just as good. There'll be loads of content from that career mode at the end of May and start of June, and then weekly content from there on in. So I hope you'll check that out if you are a fan of other sports content. But a massive thanks for watching this one, your continued support of the series. I really do appreciate it as we come to a dramatic run-in, and I hope to see you next time for another big episode as we look to reach back-to-back Europa League finals.